Hey there, welcome back. Excited to have you here today for this Plan With Me video. This week, we're going to be focusing on a minimalist but functional design spread. So what we're going to be doing is thinking about some key elements that I wanted to incorporate into my week, and I wanted to talk with you a little bit about that. So the key things I'm looking at approaching this week are really getting an overview of all of the meetings that I have coming up this week. I also want to make sure that I have plenty of space for notes. I'm noticing a lot of tasks and notes coming throughout the week that are outside of my normal collections, so I definitely want to make sure I have enough space for those. And now that I'm working from home more often, there are a few little things that I want to make sure that I'm tracking throughout the week. I want to incorporate making sure I'm drinking enough water. I get plenty of coffee, but water technically is in there too, but really want to focus on that H2O consumption. I also have been really interested in just focusing more on just taking some breaks throughout the day. I'm sitting for, a few hours at a time. So making sure that I'm taking time to stretch is really important. So I want to find a way to incorporate that in this week's spread as well. And the last one is something I always like to pay attention to. I'm a night owl. I could stay up all night long, but making sure that I'm getting enough sleep is really important because I notice that it does affect the rest of my day. So I'll also incorporate a sleep tracker into this week. So I'm excited to explore some ideas with you, get some sketching done, and then lay everything out. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right, now before we go straight into my notebook, I'm actually going to use this mastermind pad from Baron Fig here to sketch out my idea first. So the first thing that I know that I want in here is an overview of my week. So what I'll do is create a 5-column space here for Monday through Friday. I don't track a lot during the weekends, so my focus is really during the week. So I'll just title each one of these so I know what I'm working with. Now that I have this part here, I need to think about my notes, right? So in my square bullet journal, there's a lot of space because it's as wide as it is tall. So what I've been doing recently is breaking them down into 2 columns. So that's what I'll do now. I'll just quickly sketch out these 2 columns. These will be for my notes for the week. And just for my sketch wireframe, I'll just make sure I title so I know what I'm talking about. Now that I have all of this space on the right, I have this space here on the left that we're going to use, and this is where I'm going to put the title for the page, but it's also where I'm going to put my trackers, or at least most of my trackers. So in my sketch, I just quickly mark out what's going to be there. I'm not worried about spacing at all right now, so just know that I'm just kind of grabbing stuff, putting it in here real quick just to get the idea. All right, and we'll also follow that around here with the sleep tracker, and then I'm also going to use a next week box. It's just a box that I've used in the past to help me easily push things to next week if I know they're happening then, and I'll take up 2 space on my current journal. So now that we have all of this, let's go ahead and move it over to the journal. So this is the Archer and Olive Square Bullet Journal, dot grid, 160 GSM paper. Absolutely love it. All right, let's bring in our sketch here so we can know what we're working with. So before we transfer this over into the page, I want to show you one of my favorite collection pages I made, and it's my grids page. This page is so important because it's a wonderful quick reference to column and row spacing. So real quick, across the top, I have the 5 columns for the days of the week. I have the 2-column layout for the notes. So as you can see, where I have the 5, I have a real quick reference to what I need for 5 columns with a little bit of space on the right. I can easily move that over to the left. And then for my 2-column, I have it broken out pretty evenly here, but because of the space that I'm working with, these will probably be a little bit smaller, probably around 16 squares instead of 18. And then I'll work with the rest of the space on the page. So what I did first is gave myself space on the left-hand side for these thin trackers and the title of the page, and then I worked to the right from there. So I have the space for the 5 days during the week, I have the space for my notes, and then I've lined everything up around that. For the titles of the page, I'll just kind of follow the square pattern, keeping it nice and slim, so we'll fill those in. I'll follow it around here with the sleep tracker, and then this is the space we made for my next week notes. All right, now that we have everything laid out, one of the things I'll add on here, and I'll add a lot of extras to my pages usually, but I have these really cool succulent and plant stickers that I got from Paper House Me. We're gonna put this on the page, and then also we're going to use the 2-line marker from paperhouse.me for the top headers here. It gives a really cool effect. So to get started, we'll go ahead and take out our clear ruler and our Pitt Artist pen from Faber-Castell, and we'll go ahead and line everything in. Now the reason that I like the clear rulers is for a pretty transparent reason, but I like to be able to see through. I've had so many times when I've used a non-transparent or see-through ruler and you just miss the mark, right? You go a little bit too far and it completely messes with the rest of your layout. So ever since I used one and I was like, I got it, nope. This is my go-to. I have it with me all the time. You never know when you're gonna need a ruler, and this is just a really nice thing to have. Now before I fill in the lines here for the notes, I'm just gonna go ahead and stick our little succulent sticker on the page, and that way I'll just work around the sticker versus working the sticker around the page. Now that we have all of our lines, I'll go ahead and put in the titles for these pages, then I'll fill in the rest of the details around. So the first thing I'll do is just fill in the August title for this page. And then over for the trackers, like I said, I'm gonna work within these square patterns and just fill in each letter in each square. I'll put in my numbers for my sleep tracker, and then do the same type of header pattern that I use for my trackers over here for our next week. So for the headers for the days of the week, I'm going to use this double line pen from paperhouse.me. If you didn't see my previous stationery haul video, make sure you check it out. I'll put a quick link here at the top of the screen, but what's cool about these is there's 2 pen tips inside of this pen, so as you write with it, you get a really cool double-lined effect. So let's go ahead and fill that out. All right, so we have our August title, we have our days of the week, we have all of our trackers here on the left-hand side, we've got space for our notes, sleep tracker, and then also our next week.
All right, we did it. We got all of those things in there. So we have our weekly overview. We also have plenty of space for notes, and we found a really nice little side way to add in some of those trackers throughout the week in a pretty interesting way, I think. Just using up like 2 or 3 of those spaces is really slim, but I really like the way that that looks. So we'll be tracking water this week. We'll also be taking some time for stretching because I'm noticing that as I'm sitting all day long, that's really important. And then we'll also have the sleep tracker in there as well. I appreciate you spending the time with me today as we thought through different ways to approach our bullet journal spreads, keeping it minimalistic, but also super functional. If you like this video and would love to see more Plan With Me videos, make sure to like and subscribe. That lets me know that you really like what's going on here and I can do more of these videos in the future. Also, feel free to leave comments below on other ideas that you would like to see me cover in future videos. Thanks again for spending the time with me today. Hopefully you have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.